outpouring of support after the tragic death of Linkin Park's lead singer Chester Bennington. The Grammy Award-winning father of 6 believed to have taken his life at his home in California.
This, right here, this skull between my ears, that's a bad neighborhood. And I should not be in there alone. People laughed. It sounded like a joke. But it wasn't. That was a man describing a place he was trapped inside. And the worst part? Everyone heard him. But no one really listened. The warning no one took seriously.
ABC's Gio Benitez is here with new details about his private struggle. Such an incredibly sad story, Gio.
In 2009, Chester Bennington said something that should have stopped the world. I started using drugs when I was 11. Not experimenting, not rebelling, escaping. Because behind the voice that defined a generation was a child carrying something unbearable. I was exposed to things really young.
Unbelievable, Amy. Good morning. Chester Bennington was just 41, the lead vocalist for Linkin Park for nearly 2 decades, an extraordinary singer-songwriter, and fans are now pointing to his own lyrics for clues about that personal struggle.
There were things that happened to me that were very difficult to deal with. What he meant was abuse. Years of it. Silent. Hidden. And like so many victims, he buried it. Because speaking up felt worse than staying quiet. A mind he couldn't escape.
They're one of the most popular bands in the world. More than 70 million albums sold.
That kind of pain doesn't disappear. It evolves. It turns into thoughts you can't turn off, feelings you can't explain, and a loneliness that follows you everywhere, even at the top of the world.
Multi-platinum Grammy winners collaborating with the likes of Jay-Z.
Music has probably kept me alive more than anything. That's how I get out what's going on inside. For Chester, music wasn't passion, it was survival. Because when the music stopped, the noise came back, the childhood that shaped everything. Chester Bennington was born in Phoenix, Arizona. On paper, a normal life. A nurse for a mother, a police detective for a father. But everything broke apart early. His parents divorced when he was just 11. The same year everything else started falling apart. He felt abandoned, disconnected, angry. I hated everyone, I wanted to hurt people and run away. He stayed with his father, who was rarely home. Which meant one thing, too much time alone. And for someone like Chester, that was dangerous. Escaping reality. So he found ways to escape. Music. And substances. By the time he was a teenager, he was already deep into addiction.
But this morning, Linkin Park is a band in mourning. The Los Angeles coroner confirming its frontman, Chester Bennington, dead of an apparent suicide by hanging.
By 16, I had tried almost everything. Think about that. While most kids were figuring out who they were, he was trying to survive himself. But then something unexpected happened. He asked for help. He told his mother, "I'm an addict." That moment changed everything. But it didn't fix everything. Because addiction wasn't the root. Pain was. Music becomes his only safe place. Bands like Depeche Mode and Stone Temple Pilots became his escape. But listening wasn't enough. He needed to create. He formed a band, dropped out of school, and poured everything into music. Because for the first time, he didn't feel alone. Music gave him something he never had before. Control. The moment that changed his life. Then came a moment that sounded almost unreal. A random opportunity. A band with no future, looking for a voice. That band would become Linkin Park. And Chester? He recorded his audition. In a closet. On his birthday. No pressure, no expectations. But when they heard his voice, everything changed. We knew immediately this was something different. Mike Shinoda later said he didn't expect someone like Chester to have a voice like that. Raw, unfiltered, unforgettable. the voice that connected the world. Then came Hybrid Theory, and suddenly, they weren't just a band, they were a movement. Songs like In the End became global anthems. But here's what made it different. It didn't feel like music, it felt like truth. I tried so hard and got so far. That line didn't just go viral, it became personal. For millions, because Chester wasn't performing pain, he was living it. Fame didn't save him. But success didn't fix anything. It only made things more complicated. Even the people closest to him didn't fully understand. His wife later admitted, "I did not understand the severity of his thoughts. We thought everything was okay." And that's the dangerous part, because mental struggles don't always look like struggle. Sometimes they look like success. Songs that were cries for help. Meteora wasn't just an album, it was a breakdown in music form. Recording Breaking the Habit nearly destroyed him. "I couldn't do it. I'd get through 2 lines and just start crying." He had to leave the room. Come back. Try again. Because it hit too close. It was too real. Numb? That was his reality. It was about trying to be someone you're not until you feel nothing. That wasn't storytelling. That was a confession. The relapse and the fight. Then came the breaking point. Addiction returned. Alcohol, chaos, loss of control, and then a choice. Quit or die. He chose to fight. Rehab, sobriety, a new chapter. And for a while, it worked. But pain doesn't disappear. It waits, loss after loss. Life kept hitting him. His idol, Scott Weiland, criticized him. Then, later, passed away. Then, his close friend, Cornell, died. That broke him, completely, because he saw himself in that story, and he couldn't escape it. When the world turned on him, then came One More Light, his most honest album, his most vulnerable, and instead of support, he got backlash. Fans rejected it, mocked it, even threw things at him on stage. The same fans who once screamed his lyrics now pushed him away, and that hurt more than anything. The final hours, July 20th, 2017. He was alone, and that was the worst place he could be. Because he had already told us, "I should not be in there alone," but this time, he was, and this time, there was no way out. The truth people still don't understand. After his death, a video surfaced. He was smiling, laughing, playing with his kids, happy. Or at least, that's what it looked like. His wife later said, "Depression has no face," and that's the part people miss. Pain doesn't always look like pain. Sometimes, it hides behind a smile. Sometimes, it sounds like music. No one heard Chester Bennington, but millions felt him. And maybe, that was the only way he knew how to be heard. If this story stayed with you, hit like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, which story should we uncover next? I read every comment. I'll see you in the next one.